At some point in our lives, we have all heard about Frisbee. You may have seen people playing it in the park. You may have heard your parents talk about it when they were younger. You may have even chucked around a disc with a couple of friends. But have you heard of the sport of ultimate Frisbee? Much like Frisbee in the park, Ultimate Frisbee consists of one of these. However, with an Ultimate Frisbee disc, there are a few changes. This disc is larger and much more weighted than a normal Frisbee, so when a player goes for a curved throw or a hammer throw, the disc won't be taken away by the wind. To learn more about this fantastic sport and playing it, I can officially say that this is a truly underplayed sport in the UK. It's pretty easy to pick up, no matter your age, gender, young, old, in between, everyone can play. It's an excellent way to get exercise and just a great way to be social. The main rules of Ultimate Frisbee are simple. You throw the disc however you like, but if you've got it, you're not allowed to move with it. If the disc touches the floor or the opposition intercept it, then it's a turnover and it's the opposition's turn to attack. And the way you score a point in Ultimate Frisbee is having one of your players catch the disc in the opposition's end zone. I do believe that in the UK, Ultimate Frisbee isn't as advertised as it should be. You don't see Frisbee games on TV or in the newspapers. Schools may go over it, maybe one lesson in PE, but other than that, it's not really taught much. As for the gap in gender, I believe that even when Ultimate Frisbee is advertised, it is advertised mainly as a male-dominated sport. Ultimate Frisbee has a much smaller community than other sports, such as football, basketball and hockey. But what I wanted to find out was why has this amazing sport got such a smaller community than others? I interviewed Zach, the captain of Colonel Ultimate Frisbee team, to find out more. Why do you think this community is so small?
Partially because it's a niche sport, in the fact that I didn't know about it particularly until I came to uni, but I know also a lot of the society is Christians, and they sometimes play in their group settings. They'll play Frisbee, so that's kind of, unless you're part of that kind of group that's done that, you've been introduced to it before via another group, it's kind of something you don't really know about, especially considering it's not even in the Olympics. So there's no massive media posts place about it. It doesn't have a massive presence. So unless you do the research, you find out about it, it's kind of just tucked away and you're not going to know about it.
Whilst talking to the players of Colonel Ultimate, I actually learned quite a few reasons on why some of them joined. A large amount of the players are actually Christians and learned how to play the sport at different Christian events. I talked to Tim, one of Colonel Ultimate's players, to talk more about this.
Well, it's actually because I grew up Christian. It's just one of those things that's kind of in and around you as part of a youth group. All these different kind of like weekend aways and summer camps. You know, you learn the basics. You know, like you have to properly throw the disc and everything like that, and you know, you get somewhat familiar with it.
Ultimate Frisbee is a mixed sport, meaning that all genders can play with each other. There are tournaments that require them to be all male teams or all female teams, or require them to be mixed. But for the most part, Ultimate Frisbee is an all-inclusive sport. I caught up with Freya, the president of Colonel Ultimate, to discuss this more.
My role as president of Colonel Ultimate is that I oversee the general running of the committee. I also attend any of the SU forums and general committee training sessions that they put on. I'm personally very proud of the kind of community that we have within Ultimate Frisbee. Those who've come along to our society have fed back to me how much like a family it feels and how inclusive we are. It just really feels like we're competitive when we play, but in between, like, there's so much friendly, so much good nature, and why shouldn't there be? And if people want to play the sport and they enjoy playing the sport, then they should.
Despite Ultimate Frisbee being a mixed sport, Colonel Ultimate, in terms of amount of players, still has quite a large gender gap. Why do you think this is?
That's 100% true. I did a research study last year, looking into that myself, and I did find that across the UK there was a very large gender split between the males and females. Females found that when they went in and played, males would choose to pass to other males before they pass to a female. Even, I think, one of the participants from Exeter who answered my survey said she'd been playing for about 4 years, she was quite experienced, and would only get passed to 2 to 3 times a game, which was, quite a shocking statistic. Although when we went to Amsterdam, I did notice that there seemed to be a lot more females from other countries in their teams, whereas that isn't reflected in the UK. So I'm hoping next year within Kano we can work on that and bring our female numbers up ourselves.
And there you have it. Hopefully a lot of you have learned more about Frisbee, and hopefully this has gotten a lot more of you into this amazing sport.